Solving linear equations. So let's just do some refresher on solving linear equations. One variable. So let me start with an easy one, just to kind of get the methodology down for you. 5w plus 2 equals 2w plus 5. Okay, we're solving for w. You've got to put all the terms with the variable on one side and all of the terms that don't contain the variable on the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2w from both sides, and I'm going to be left with 3w plus 2 equals 5. Okay, then I'm going to move the 2 over by subtracting 2 from both sides, and I'm left with 3w equals 3. At this point I can divide both sides by 3, and I get w equals 1. Okay, so that's the basic case, no fractions. It should be pretty straightforward. Now it gets a little bit more complicated when we deal in fractions. So if you were given the problem 7 minus 5 over 3c equals 22, we have to solve for c. We got to get our terms on the proper side. So we want to leave the c term here. We'll move the 7. So we'll subtract 7 from both sides. And we're left with negative 5 over 3c equals 15. Now there's two ways to isolate c, and the way that I recommend you do it is you multiply both sides by the reciprocal. If negative 5/3 is our fraction attached to the variable c, the way we get rid of it is we multiply both sides by by negative 3 over 5. Okay? When I multiply negative 5/3 times negative 3/5, I get 1. Any number or fraction times its reciprocal is 1. So that leaves me with c equals 15 times negative 3/5. Now I need to work with fractions. 15 and 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So my answer is c equals negative 9. Let's do another one that involves distributing. If I was giving you a problem such as 3 times 2x minus 5 minus x equals negative 7 times x plus 3. First step is we have to do the distribution. Okay, 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. Okay? Now we combine the like terms on the left. We get 6x and minus x, we get 5x. There's nothing to combine here. We now need to put our x terms on one side and all other terms on the other side. So I want to bring the 7x over. You get 12x minus 15 equals negative 21. Now I'm going to bring the 15 over to this side, and I'm going to get 12x equals negative 6. I'm going to divide by 12, and I'm going to get x equals negative 1/2. Alright, I'm going to do one more for you. If I gave you a problem that involved lots of fractions, 1/2 x plus 4 equals negative 2/3 x plus 1/2. Okay? First thing I'm going to do is, like I did before, I got to move my x terms, which there are 2 of them, to the same side. I'm going to add 2/3 x to both sides. Okay? Now, when I add 1/2 x and 2/3 x, I can't add those fractions without having a common denominator. You cannot add or subtract fractions without a common denominator. My least common denominator is 6. So 1/2 I rewrite as 3/6. And I have 2/3. I'm going to put it over 6. To go from 3 to 6, I multiply by 2. So to take the numerator of 2, I have to multiply it by 2 to get 4. So 1/2 becomes 3/6. 2/3 becomes 4/6. So 3/6 plus 4/6 equals 7 over 6. So what we have here is 7 over 6x plus 4 equals 1/2. Now I need to move the 4 over to this side. Okay, to move the 4 over, I subtract 4. Okay, so now I have 1/2 minus 4. Well, I have a fraction. I need to rewrite 4 as something over 2. 8/2 is 4. Now that I have a common denominator, I can tell you that 1/2 minus 4 is the same as 1/2 minus 8/2, which is negative 7/2. So what I end up with in this problem is the 7 over 6x equals negative 7 over 2. And if I want to solve for x, I multiply by the reciprocal of the fraction that's attached to x. The reciprocal of 7 over 6 is 6 over 7. That causes these terms to go away. And when I multiply negative 7/2 times 6 over 7, I get negative 6 over 2, which is the same as negative 3. So x equals negative 3. So you're going to have to get comfortable again working with fractions, but the key here is put all your x terms or variable terms on one side, put all your other terms on the other. Whatever you do to the left, you do to the right. One step at a time, don't rush, and you should be okay.